Hey everybody. Excuse me. Hey everybody. This is Coach Goodrich with another 8th grade American history video for you. This is going to be Unit 5, Part 1. Unit 5, Part 1, so you need to have those notes printed out and ready in front of you so you can go and fill them in as we go. Dealing with the time periods from roughly the early 1800s, like 1810, 1815, through leading up towards 1850, right before the Civil War. We'll start off. So this is going to be part one of 3 videos, the age of Jackson, and this is going to be a relatively short one. Alright, essential questions for all of Unit 5, the whole unit. Was Andrew Jackson a good president? Why or why not? The number 2, is manifest destiny a Christian idea? Was it carried out in a Christian way? Why or why not? So go ahead and pause the video. You guys can write those down. We'll be answering those questions as we move through the unit. Start off with Andrew Jackson, also known as Old Hickory. Lived from 1767 to 1845. He's a delegate to Congress as a representative and as a senator. He fought during the Creek Indian Wars in the American Southeast throughout Alabama, Georgia, and parts of Florida. Developed a reputation as an Indian fighter. Served as a military officer. He led the U.S. victory at the famous battle that should never have happened, in the Battle of New Orleans, where they whipped the British soldiers from invading New Orleans. Fought against the Seminoles and the Spanish in Florida, eventually pestering the Spanish so much that they were forced, more or less, to sell Florida to the United States, and the Adams-Onis Treaty of 1819 was wildly popular, was elected president, served from 1829 to 1837. Several of the reasons why he was so popular. He survived an assassination attempt. He was famous for killing a man in a duel. He fought in several duels. He had several bullet wounds throughout his whole body from them. Came from very humble beginnings. Parents were poor, hardworking farmers in the Carolinas and Tennessee. So he kind of embodied the idea of the common man. He was the first president that was not formally educated in the university system, either in England or in the United States at that time. So the common man, the farmers, the day laborers, they related with him. He was a drinker, he was a gambler. He was easy to relate with the other people, and it paid off into very successful terms, at least in terms of what he was able to accomplish. Maybe not so in the way he accomplished it. He showed more power than any other president had before. He added numerous powers to the executive branch while limiting the powers of the other 2 branches. The most famous example of this additional powers was implementing the executive power of veto, which states that the president can stop a bill from becoming a law by saying so. He used this power more times during his 8 years in presidency than any other president ever has or probably ever will. Veto, if you guys remember from 6th grade class, is the Roman word for I forbid. So the law systems, which we talked about last unit, House of Representatives or the Senate wants to pass a law. They get their majority of their people in Congress to agree to it. They send it off to the president to be signed off on, and he can veto that potential law and keep it from becoming a law for any number of reasons. He began to be called King Andrew by people who thought that he had too much power, his dissenters. More things he did: close the National Bank, forced the Indian Removal Act of 1832 to be passed, and caused the Great Depression, or the mini panic of 1837 to happen in his last years. So take a close picture, or mental picture, I guess, of this political cartoon. Born to command. Had I been consulted, a veto memory, King Andrew I. So notice, it's Andrew Jackson. What is he holding in his left hand? What is he standing on top of? That's kind of torn up at his feet. And what is he dressed as? Not so subtle hints from someone who probably wasn't too fond of him in office. Other presidents during this time period, we got John Quincy Adams, who is the son of John Adams, the 2nd president, who would be 6th. That leads to Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, who was only president for about a month. He caught pneumonia during his 2.5-hour inauguration address when it was cold and rainy in D.C. Caught pneumonia and died like a month later. John Tyler, James K. Polk, after which Polk County is named, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, and Franklin Pierce. All right, short and sweet. We only got these 3 questions, so make sure you answer these on your paper as well as on Google Classroom to receive your grade. And I look forward to discussing this more with you a little bit later on.